What's up, guys? This is Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be breaking down how to change tempo on a route, okay? So we're going to be looking at this kind of stop curl route here from CeeDee Lamb. We're going to be looking at this corner route in the red zone here from Greg Ward, and then we're going to be taking a look at how you guys can change up tempo off the line of scrimmage with this release from Odell and kind of what changing up the tempo can do for you, okay? So, and guys, if you're a receiver and you want to get better hands, check out that link in the description. It says improve your hands in 30 days, full 30-day program to improve your catching ability. Let's get started. So first things first here with Lamb, when we attack this guy, especially in zone coverage, tempo is a great way to change up this DB and how he's getting out of there in this back pedal, right? Because he's trying to gauge our tempo, he's trying to back pedal, feel us, he's trying to get a feel for our speed, right? So number one against zone coverage, we want to make sure we attack this weak hip, and we're trying to work to this blind spot right here, okay? So let's watch this thing full speed, then we're going to break it down. So you see how Lamb comes off here, slows it up, kicks up into second gear, then snaps it off, right? So the thing about tempo is that a lot of guys might come out of the gate with this, right? They come out with the change up in tempo first, right? But especially guys who are a lot on the faster side, and teams know that they're faster guys. But usually tempo can be built throughout, and this is the way at least I teach my guys how to work tempo. It can be built throughout the game, right? So like first things first, like first quarter, maybe you come off and your job is to run the guy off the ball. Your job is just to create some space initially. So that's what you're doing. You're getting your full speed into your routes. You're making these breaks quick, especially if you got a zone coverage heavy team. You want them to feel your speed. So he's thinking, oh shit, every time he attacks me, every time he pushes vertical, I got to get out of there. I don't want to get beat over the top, because his job in zone is not to get beat over the top, right? So Lamb kind of takes advantage of that, right? So he comes off the line here and he comes off nice and slow, right? Attacking this DB, trying to get him to turn those hips. And the second he turns those hips, he accelerates into this blind spot, or not so much the blind spot, but he attacks this front hip, this weak hip as I like to call it, right? Now, what you can do that sets this up is maybe one time you come off the line with a slow tempo, then you kick it up into second gear and you run this guy off. You try to get him to force this speed turn. You try to get him to run out of there and try to get him to be like, oh crap, he's got some speed to him. I want to make sure that I don't get beat over the top on this. So that's how you can build into this route, right? Everything's a setup. You got to make all your routes look the same, and you got to have the same techniques to build off of that, right? So now when Lamb comes off here and he accelerates up into this blind spot right now, the thing is to make sure that we sell vertical and don't give any indicators with my pad level or with my speed or with my stride, right? So the very important thing when guys come off the line, or not off the line, but when they're at the top of the route and they change up tempo, they'll burst up, and then right before the break, they pick their chest up, they slow down, they do all kinds of things that are indicators to a DB where he could kind of feel what we're doing, and then he could go make a break on a ball. But, however, if you guys come off the line and you change up your tempo, then you kick up into second gear and you're able to change direction on a dime, and you see how CeeDee snaps at this outside leg and he's violent with his hips. That's how you change direction running full speed, right? So I come off the line, I change up this tempo, I kick up into second gear, and then I snap this thing off right now, right? I get this separation. I get this DB to run out of there and really try to accelerate out. He doesn't want to get beat over the top, and he gets on his horse and try to get in his back pedal and turn it into a run. So again, he doesn't get beat over the top. You got to threaten vertical, and how you threaten vertical is your speed, body language, and how you use this tempo. And again, CeeDee's cutting out time spent at the top of the break. Ball's out on time. That's a great job here getting separation when we change up tempo, right? So again, I take it nice and slow, kick up into second gear, make sure we're attacking what? We're attacking that front hip, trying to get him to really run, try to close that gap with them, try to step on his toes, quote unquote, get to that blind spot, maybe force a speed turn if this route's a little bit deeper. Then I snap this thing off, and how I change direction is I'm violent with my hips, don't give an indicator, okay? So let's watch this thing full speed again one more time. This is a great route by Lamb, slow, kick up into second gear, get that DB running out of there, then we snap this thing off, great route. Okay, so now we're going to be looking at Greg Ward here, kind of using this tempo change and making this stick off the line just to really freeze the DB. So this is a situation where we're in man coverage, right? How can you use tempo in man? Now, when I got to be very careful with how I use this tempo, because if you guys use this tempo and you take too long, like maybe you make too long of a skip and then you make too many moves, we're going to be late on the throw, right? So when I get some separation, if I'm late on the throw, and especially in man coverage like this, we can kind of anticipate that the quarterback might be getting a little bit of pressure. Obviously, we can't see the box, but in some cases, a lot of cases, he's going to be getting some pressure when we got manned up, especially down here in the red zone, right? Inside the 10-yard line, he's going to be getting probably some pressure. Chances are they're not going to let him sit back and pass for a long time against man coverage, and we got one-on-one opportunities outside, okay? So now, when he comes off the line, right, he attacks his leverage here. And now when he kind of slows up right here, what this is selling is we're just trying to get this DB to kind of settle, trying to get him to settle his feet. Maybe he's thinking that it's like a slot fade. We don't want to run this thing out of the back of the end zone. We're trying to slow up my tempo to maybe get him to sit down and expect this slot fade and play my hands, right? But little does he know that I'm about to just make this cut, right? That's the thing about DB, right? And that's why I say little does he know, because he's guessing the whole time. And that's why DB is so dang hard. Playing defense is so hard because you got to guess every single time. That's why you got to have all the respect in the world for those guys, because every single time they're guessing. They're trying to make little tells off of us. But how we should engineer ourselves and how we should think is that if I don't give him any tells and I don't give him any indicators and I'm able to mess with his head a little bit, there's nothing that can't really stop me. I got a plan for every single look that I'm going to see. It's what I do wrong that stops myself, right? If I give him an indicator, if I do something wrong, that's what gets me no separation. That's what gets this ball broken up. That's what gets this ball picked off for my quarterback. But if you guys do everything correctly, obviously, right, there's no way that he's going to be able, maybe he'll guess right, but I still do everything correctly, I still could win this play, right? That's the beauty of it. So now when he comes off here, he's coming off, gives a little head fake, and then he kind of settles, selling like it's maybe just a quick slot fade, and then he's very sudden with that break, right? The thing about, like I said, just like when we were running that crow route we were talking about with CeeDee Lamb, whenever you make that change of direction or that change of, off of that change of pace, and you guys like to change direction or come out of a break, it's got to be sudden, it's got to happen quick, because we don't want to give him a lot of time to react. Imagine if you changed up tempo right here, and then he gave this real long cut, and he reached out, and he leaned back, right? That would be so slow, and let's say he like dragged this back, like that would be so slow that this DB would be all over it, right? Because again, especially in a tight situation like this, when you're inside the 10-yard line, being sudden, being able to explode, being able to get up into this route right now, that's what's important, okay? So let's watch this thing again, full speed one more time. So coming off slow up, sudden stick, make sure we accelerate. That's one more thing I'd like to add too, especially off the tempo change, and especially on a route like this where we got some space to work, let's make sure I accelerate, because what's that quarterback going to do? He's going to put it to a spot in the back corner of this end zone, just drop this thing over the top. So I got to make this cut, and I got to go. I got to widen the gap that I just created. So what, I got separation with the tempo change. So what, I was sudden with my feet. Can I keep the separation? That's what you guys got to be able to do. Let's watch it again, full speed one more time. So coming off here, slow up tempo, break this thing off, slow up tempo, sudden stick, make sure I accelerate. That's a great job here by Greg Ward, okay? So now, tempo is not something that you only can do throughout the stem of the route. It's also something you guys can do off of the line of scrimmage, right? So Odell, pretty quick guy, right? Got quick feet, has good releases off the line, is able to get a lot of separation. Now, when we're in a situation where maybe we got this DB in this kind of catch technique, soft press, I want to close the distance with this guy. Let's close him. Let's walk him down. Let's try to get him on his heels so I can just play almost basketball with him, right? It's like you're playing basketball and you're walking down somebody playing defense on you. Your point guard walking him down. You got to work this crossover. You got to work this 1-2. But not every single time you're going to come at him with the same pace, right? So same thing off the line of scrimmage. Not every time am I going to come at this DB 100 miles an hour, make one hard cut, then run a slant. If that's what the play calls for, and that's the timing of the play, yes. But if it's a longer developing play, like maybe this is like an RPO concept, and we know that the quarterback's got to get a good read on a linebacker coming down, or however we want to play this thing. Maybe it's off of a play action fake, right? I got some time to work, so let's maybe not come at him with the same kind of speed every single time. Let's maybe change it up and give him this little skip. So I give him this little skip right here, change up the tempo. And when you can get this DB into open space with a tempo change, and you could throw your head and shoulder fake in the opposite direction, you're going to get space. Because when you change your tempo, he's not going to be, he's trying to match your tempo. He's trying to match your speed. He's watching those hips. So you come off slow, you get him on those heels, and then I throw this hard cut to the outside. That gets him leaning to the outside. And now what do I have to do? We were just talking about this. I got to be sudden, right, with the break, obviously, but I got to accelerate. So when you're this situation where you change up tempo off the line, and you got to be able to go from 0, 100. 0, I walk him down nice and slow. Break, I'm at 100. I'm accelerating. I'm widening the distance with this DB, and that's exactly what Odell does. That's a great job here. Let's watch this thing again, full speed one more time. Great work by Odell, working this change of speed off the line. So he comes off here nice and slow, throws that break, make sure we accelerate and make this play over the middle. Great route here by Odell. All right, guys, I hope this kind of gave you guys an insight on what changing tempo can do for you, and just kind of how to change tempo, how you guys can use that on different routes. You can really use this on a lot of routes. It's hard to use it on certain ones, but hopefully this gave you guys a good insight on when to do it, how to do it. And guys, if you're a receiver and you want to improve your hands, again, check out that link in the description. It says improve your hands in 30 days. If you guys have any questions at all, please leave those in the comments. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. I'll see you guys next time.